Oh, I don't know why I get involved in this. Don't have a clue. Again, my favorite issue, the medheads. This fake news from Nova Scotia, I'm telling you, is getting ridiculous. CBC, again, and now, CTV, Atlantic CTV and the CBC has joined force about the medheads. And they never mention drugs. All they say is homelessness. Now, let me show you something that CTV put in there, which I will call fake news. Look at this.
Monday, and only half of the 50 beds were occupied. That means there would be enough room for all 23 people staying in the encampment.
Now, look at this. When you give housing to a person that leaves a mess like this, come on. It's totally out of control. They said that the government spent $3 million, and another thing that's interesting, where is it? Let's see if I could find it. There was this goofball that said, oh my God, how am I going to find that? You can't.
Girls, CTV News booked.
I think it's after that.
There was plenty of space available at Halifax's new shelter for its first night. Only half of the beds were used. Here's CTV's Jonathan McGinnis.
This Halifax transit bus arrived in Lower Sackville at noon today, ready to transport residents of the tent encampment on Cobequid Road to the new shelter at the Halifax Forum. But it left the same way it came, empty.
Unfortunately, nobody is going.
The province is spending $3 million to operate the emergency shelter to keep people out of the elements and fed until August 31st. However, a tour of the facility on Friday left many of the encampment residents unimpressed.
When I got to the shelter, I thought that it would...
Look at this kid. That's not what I want to show. This is... Oh, I didn't swear. Wait a minute. Just give me... If I'm lucky, I'll get it. If not, well, Sarah.
23 people staying in the encampment.
There's actually no sense of security while you're there.
They were really upset that there was no...
Anyway, there's a guy that said in there, he says that he went for a tour of the new shelter and he got beat up. He got broken 3 broken teeth, and he saw, look at this. Yes. You got to pay your debts. That's the rule. That's their justice system. You don't pay, you're gonna get beat up. So he went to the new shelter. He might have seen a drug dealer. That's why here, the Fredericton Soup Kitchen, a lot of people go hungry because the drug dealers are outside, and that's been like that for years. They hang around outside, and if they go and eat, they wait for them outside, and they get a good beating, and that's the way it is. Remember when they collect their welfare check at the medical clinic, and the guy was across the street with a backpack and a bat and a mask just to wait for the money. Was there cops around? Of course not. They were too busy chasing people riding a bicycle on the sidewalk. Okay, focus, Charles. No, I mean, this thing here, it's ridiculous. There's only one way. They will not listen. You have to tell them, you got to go there, because that's going to be there forever. Cindy, they call it, what's it called? Pallet City. They want to have a whole bunch of tent, which was approved by council, in the neighborhood. Well, they're going to get their house broken into. You're going to see assaults, and that's what's going to happen. the rule number one of the med heads. You do not follow rule. And number two, you destroy everything around you. Destroy. And the other thing is you steal. You steal everything you can, and because you will not be prosecuted, especially in New Brunswick. You're allowed to steal $500 or less. Martin Godet, the chief of police, made it known that $500 or less, they won't touch you. You just, if you're a victim, you just go online, blah, blah, blah. But 500, if it's $4.99, they're allowed. And they know that. And plus, Section 10 of the Mental Health Act, some genius put that in there, that it's a mental illness, which is just once. But, which is fucking bullshit. So, come on, media, two big stories, and they never mention drugs. It's not homelessness. It's choose to be homeless, and it's crystal meth. See, that's why they say they can't go in the shelter, because they gotta go by rules, and they can't do crystal meth in there. So if they could survive for 2 or 3 months in Halifax, they'll have the center, the cartel will be right in the middle of the city. They have to bulldoze that place down at 3 o'clock in the morning, and problem is resolved.